Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back to part 100,000 of the roll cage for the s15. Nah, it's part 3 actually. So yesterday I came out for like an hour and just cut the door card out just to see what we're working with in the door. So I managed to cut out basically all of that bottom shit. I tried to sit the window regulator in there and like come up with an idea of how I could modify it to work and maybe make up some more brackets and whatnot, but I think it's going to be too much of a pain in the ass. So my plan for the windows is to get the old rail off the bottom of the window regulator there where it used to mount to the window through those two studs, and I'll just mount it there and have like something coming off, I think, so we can just either, well, yeah, don't know yet, so I can mount the window right up probably. So you pull the window up by hand and then like secure it off the rail through like a way through here or something, and then what I'll do is I'll just weld, I'll take the rails out and weld on the other side so it sits probably about there or wherever I'm gonna make the bar in a minute and sit there and see how low we can get the window, because the bar's obviously gonna run under the window, and I'll just let the stopping point be like just above the bar or something and put some lugs in or something just to stop it, so it can just sit way down when we want it to, and when it needs to be up, obviously you can just push it up and then secure it somehow. I'm thinking like some sort of stud off the rail or something through the door steel and just like put a wing nut or something on it, or something a bit tidy. But yeah, that's what we're going with at the moment. But yeah, I'm just starting to bend up the current of the side intrusion for this side, so it's basically just going to come off here and go into the door. So I'm trying to work out how to get that in there accurately, because the bends are going to be quite close together, and I don't know if the benders, the way the die is and everything, if it's going to be able to do them that tight, but I'll give it a go and see what it turns out like anyway. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I've started with this end for some reason, so it's going to be like that, but then where the next bend has to go is it going to be a bit of an arse. So what I've done is I've got this other bit of off cut here that's already bent, and it's about the same angle. It is the same angle as what this bend is, so this bend's going to be the same angle as well. So to get it close, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the pipe like so, and then I don't know how I'm going to do this with this camera. Does this work? Right, hopefully you can see me. So what I'm going to do is I'll set this bar up here where I want it, and then I'll put this angle on the pipe here so it like comes in like that, and I'll mark it, because you can kind of see where the bend starts on the pipe. There's like slight little lump there where the pipe's sort of slightly crushed from the die. So if we set that pipe there, I can mark it from this mark to the new pipe, and then set the die up, the bend to start where this one starts, and it should end up curving in nice and tucking there. And then I'll do the last one and then trim the rest off and make it fit the main hoop. So yeah, hopefully that works out well. Alright, so I got that far, so just notch that end and it will go in that way a little bit, and then it should clear the trim here just a little bit, depending where it sits. But yeah, so it's just the last bend to put there on the end to match up with the main hoop, and it should be done. And then I'll since the other side is going to be identical, I'll be able to just match this exactly, because I've already marked on the notcher where these bends are and what length and stuff to be cut at. So should work out pretty, that I should be able to replicate it pretty good. Looks pretty straight that way too, doesn't it? Yeah, not bad. And then I'll tack it in and close the door and see what needs to be trimmed. I think I need to cut the rails off on the bottom sections, and then I'll just brace them to the skin of the door there somewhere, just so they don't move around, because obviously bolted at the bottom for strength, so we'll need to strengthen them up the top a bit more. And then I'll probably cut the aluminium door card up so it just closes just above the top bar here, just so the top there is nice and all covered in and smooth and no sharp edges and stuff. So do this final bend and see what it looks like. Oh, and to get this last bend, what I'm going to do as well is I'll set this up how it's going to be. it's going to be welded about there once it's notched, so it's going to go that way about 25mm, but that'll be alright because we'll have excess on this end to trim later. But I'll set this bar here like this, and then I'll put this back over here. Edit that out, please. So set the bar where I want it. I'll grab my other pipe, which is on the bend at a similar bend, and I'll sit it like that on top of it where it's going to mount to the thing, and then I'll transfer the mark from where this bend is starting on this pipe, and then that'll be the start of my bend in the die. So in theory it sounds good, but I'll show you afterwards if it worked out or not. I've got my mark on the pipe in there where it starts on the die, and then you'll be able to see it. Oh no, you won't be able to see it, actually it's just a vivid mark. But start that there, twist it up, get my seam line sitting right up in the top there. Actually, I should I'll move the die over. Excuse me. Fuck, I suck at holding this thing. Sweet. Right, started from here. So I've kept the seam at the top so I knew where the centre line was to line up with the die. So basically, I don't know if you can see in there actually, but I keep the centre line of the seam lined up with the die like that, so then I know it's nice and straight when it gets bent, and it's going to be sweet in the holder here. I was worried about this bend here being too close to the strap that holds the pipe and not being able to hold it, but it's probably just the right amount of distance away, so it's going to work out good. So got the one there bent up. I put it in the car kind of, and it looks like it'll work. I'll just have to notch it to suit, but before I do that, I'll bend up another one exactly the same, I think, or should I notch it first? I'm undecided. I should make this one fully first and then make the second one, so to make sure it actually does fit. So yeah, I'll do that actually. I'll notch this one to fit, make sure it fits, and then make a second one to match it, because my distances between the main hoop and the front bars are exactly the same on both sides. So this should be, you know, symmetrical. I was just trying to avoid taking the bender out of the vise, putting the notcher in the vise, and then putting the bender back in the vise just because of this, and it's annoying to move shit around, but I better do it properly, otherwise I'll be screaming if I make two that are wrong. Alright, so I got the pipe notched and just sort of sitting in there. Fits quite well. Would have been nice if that was a little bit closer, but I mean it doesn't matter because your seat's like here, so you're going to have a lot of room anyway. Haven't closed the door yet, but I'll probably need to tack it in and then just see what needs to be trimmed in the door and then how high I set it. And then I'll try it on the other side as well, and then I'll make an identical one to match this one. So then I got two, tack them in, make the stays up in here, probably go one there, one at the other bend, just to strengthen the impact at the bends there, and one in the middle. Yeah, and then gut the doors out and get on to making that top roof bar again, hopefully. And I'm undecided whether or not I have enough pipe left. Maybe I might go from up here down to that bar there, like sort of out and then in as another brace. I just like the look of it, looks cool, I reckon. So whether or not I've got enough pipe, but see what happens when we get around to it. Alright, so I've bent up my second side intrusion for the other side. It came out pretty damn close to the old one, so we're happy with that. I'll just notch it to suit so it's the same, and then I'll tack the passenger one in and pull the door cut off the other side, strip the door out, tack that one in, then make some stays up I think, but maybe I'll put my seats in just to dummy it to see how it all fits, but it should be sweet without doing that, because they're so far in the door now. So yeah, see what happens when I get to it. Alright everyone, this is it all tacked into place. Hopefully it shows up good. I've got my phone light on it. But yeah, it looks pretty dark actually. Might record it tomorrow actually when it's a bit clearer. Alright, so I've got the side intrusions all welded in. They turned out pretty good actually, I thought. They're nice. They don't go right to the edge of the door, obviously. I think they sit about here, but I mean like an inch or so off the door, but it's good. And I managed to come up with something for the windows as well. What I've done is I've just drilled some new holes and mounted the window motor on a different angle, and then changed the mounting point for the like the, what do you call it, where it pivots on to slide and push the window up. I just welded some bar in there, real it's not the greatest, but it'll do the job. It's going to be covered by this piece of aluminium here anyway, so this bit of alloy just going to go over there and cover half the door, so then the bars will just slide under there and you won't be able to see any of that gross stuff under there, which is good. And it means that the window doesn't come right down. I think it'll go to about, oh, how do we get this to operate? It'll go to roughly there-ish. Gives me about 3 inches of space there, but that should do the job. It's better than nothing. So yeah, once the alloy is mounted, I'll probably put a bolt through to that third pickup point there on the motor just to give it a little bit more strength, because as you can see when you when I do this, it is quite flimsy and it does move around a little bit, but it's not a daily car, so it'll only be used every once in a while, so it should hold up, which is good. So I will go ahead and do the other side as well, similar to this. I have left more on the other side door, like material wise, so whether or not I even need to do this or not, or if I can just mount it to what's already there. I probably should have done this door and just cut it just enough as well, but live and you learn. It'll all be covered by alloy anyway, so I mean it doesn't make too much difference. It's just I know what's underneath there which annoys me a little bit. So yeah, I still haven't welded that in, but I figure I haven't got any pipe left and I can't be bothered bloody getting in a whole nother length just to do that, so I'll probably just weld that in there and deal with it. I've seen a couple other cars online and the ones are similar-ish, so I'm just going to roll with it. And I think the cage can pop up in the front a little bit too. I haven't done the floor plates yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a jack under the front here and jack it up like hard into the ceiling as best as I can, then weld the floor plates underneath, so it gives it nice tight clearance, well as high as I can get it anyway. I don't think it's going to move too much because obviously it's all welded. And yeah, so next step is to put the seat in. I'll put my driver's seat in, get my steering wheel sitting how I want it, and then make up a mounting point for the column to bolt to that, and then I'll mount the reservoirs on there. And I'm thinking about doing some bars that go from the corner of the cage here up and then onto the A-pillar here, just to give it a bit more strength that way, because obviously it's quite a big gap from like there to there, like right along, like a good crushing point. So if you're having a little bit of a brace there, it gives it a little bit extra. I'm not planning on rolling over obviously, but the safer it is, you know, in my mind, you know, the more confident you are supposed to push it a little bit harder, because you know if you do fuck up, it's going to be probably a bit better for you. So yeah, that's on the agenda. Still a little bit to do, so I'll probably wrap this video up for now and put this video out as the part 3, because obviously I'm still in, you know, I went and got my cast changed today. I got the got this bad boy on here now. Cover the toes, you got to pay for those. So yeah, it's still a bit of a pain. I can only work for a couple hours and then it gets real swollen because all the blood's like rushing to it. Whatever, it gets a bit hard to work with, so I can only do a couple hours a day, which is quite a pain. Try putting out a video. I want to put out like videos like regularly, but it doesn't really permit, so I do a little bit of time, so you have to bear with me with being in bits. The video's been like all broken up, so yeah, we'll leave it there for now, and stay tuned for the next part. The next video I'll probably have all the door aluminium on, the other door done, and then I'll probably show you me mounting all the other stuff. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. You guys are legends. Cheers.